Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Life Reset Collective. My name is Josh. This is the channel where we empower, support, and encourage those who are either going through a life reset or have been through one and are rebuilding or are thinking of going through one in the future. You are not alone. I've been through two of them, so I know. And if you know, you know. It is something that not very many people understand, and this channel is here to help and support and encourage. Today, I want to talk about becoming someone you don't respect. And I have a 3-point thesis for this. And here's my central argument. You do not lose respect for yourself all at once. You lose it gradually. Every time you abandon your standards, remain surrounded by people committed to staying small, or refuse to endure the discomfort required to build a better future. When we are going through a life reset, we are at great risk of losing respect for ourselves. And in this video, I want to try to help you understand the 3 most powerful ways that this can happen, and then some solutions for how to prevent that from happening, because it's so important for you to respect yourself during this process. So here's number 1. This is the first way that people can lose respect for themselves during a life reset. You allow people to disrespect you and you shrink yourself to remain accepted, okay? Every time you tolerate disrespect, silence your real opinions, abandon your boundaries, or make yourself smaller so that other people feel comfortable, you teach yourself that belonging with that group or those people matters more than your dignity, more than the value that you can create that is unique to you, okay? At first, it may feel like you're keeping the peace, but over time, you'll begin disappearing inside your own life that is being created within these little boundaries. You'll become agreeable, quiet, resentful, and increasingly disconnected from the person you know that you are capable of being and the person you want to be, the person you'd be proud of. The fear is not only that other people will disrespect you, it is that eventually you will start disrespecting yourself for allowing it, right? That's really where the danger is. And that is a real thing. I have experienced this. Now, here's the solution. And this is going to be hard to hear, but I'm going to say it. It's important to stop negotiating away your self-respect for temporary acceptance. Set clearer boundaries. Speak honestly. Say the true thing, even if it's hard. Walk away from environments that require you to betray your true self. Accept that becoming more authentic may cost you certain relationships, invitations, or approval, and that is not only okay, that is actually good in a lot of cases, okay? You do not need to become cruel or combative. That's not the issue. You simply need to stop volunteering for your own diminishment, okay? And that's going to take us to the second most common reason that you may lose respect for yourself during a life reset. You remain surrounded by small-minded people who do not value growth or life creation, okay? Now, here's the problem. The people around you shape what feels normal, possible, and reasonable in a lot of cases, okay? You know that they say you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. When you remain in the presence of people who mock ambition, avoid responsibility, avoid accountability, reject growth, right? Avoid conflict, and then treat life as something that merely happens to them, and they become a victim of it, those limitations begin leaking into your thinking as well. They begin affecting you. It becomes the status quo around you. They may call your goals unrealistic. They may ridicule your discipline or your desire to become better. They may interpret your growth as judgment because your progress forces them to confront their own stagnation, and that is deeply uncomfortable. Eventually, you may stop talking about your dreams because nobody ever cares. No one ever listens or supports you. Then you'll stop pursuing them because it'll just seem weird and uncomfortable. Then you may convince yourself you never really wanted them to begin with, or that they were always just a pipe dream. Something like starting a new life, away from that abusive relationship, away from that terrible job, away from those family members who are bad to you, right? These might start to feel like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. But no, you probably weren't wrong. You just thought you were because you were hanging around these small-minded people and they have no bigger concepts about life, right? This is how someone else's small world can quietly become your prison. Okay. Now, here's the solution to this. It is really important to become much more deliberate about whose voices you allow into your mind. Spend more time around people who create, build, learn, take risks, take responsibility for their futures, who are willing to take risk to make their own lives better. This does not mean abandoning everyone who struggles or anything like that, right? It doesn't mean that you have to like just, abandon and stop talking to everyone in your life, because most people are a bit small-minded, right? It just means refusing to treat chronic cynicism and chosen stagnation as wisdom, and seriously limiting the amount of that you allow into your space. You may need new friends, new communities, new books, new mentors, or simply more distance from people who constantly pull your imagination downward. You cannot build an expansive life while taking constant advice from people committed to remaining small. Okay. Now, we're about to go to point number 3, but before we do, I just want to let you know that you should hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Let me know how your life reset is going. And if you'd like to book a call with me, I'm not a coach, but I have been through 2 life resets. And if you'd like someone to talk to, you can book a call with me in the description. I would love to have a conversation with you. Now, let's move on to the third biggest reason why people going through a life reset may be in the danger of losing respect for themselves during the process. You keep yourself down because you are afraid of the painful period between your old life and the new future. Okay? Here's the problem. Creating a new future usually makes life harder before it makes it better. There's a painful middle period where the old identity no longer fits, but the new life has not yet fully formed. You may lose stability, confidence, relationships, money, comfort, or certainty. In fact, you're probably going to lose all of those things. Many people interpret this pain as evidence that they made the wrong decision, and then they give up and they go back, right? So like people who leave that abusive relationship, they may go back. People who leave that terrible job with that crappy boss who's awful to them, they may get afraid and go back, right? Many people, they think that this bad period in the middle is like their fault because they made a bad choice. So they return to the job, the relationship, the routine, or the identity they already know, not because it is good, but because it is familiar. They would rather endure predictable unhappiness than face uncertain growth because they don't know how deep that pain may go. But every retreat from the future that you want, every time you pull back and you run back to your old life, something devastating happens inside of you, friends. You condition yourself to abandon what you really desire. You condition yourself and you come to realize that you will abandon yourself when times get hard. So here's the solution. Expect the pain period instead of treating it like a surprise. Understand that fear, confusion, loneliness, and temporary instability are often part of the rebuilding process. Create a plan. Reduce unnecessary risks, gather support, and keep moving through the discomfort in manageable steps. You do not need to transform your entire life overnight. You need to prove that discomfort no longer controls your decisions. The future you want may require you to survive a season your old self would have avoided, but that is how you become the new version of you. And that is the version that's going to carry you through to the promised land. We must change if we want to change our life. So here's my closing thesis. You become someone you do not respect when you repeatedly choose acceptance over dignity, limitation over growth, and comfort over transformation. The way back is not mysterious. We know that path. But the way forward is, but that is where we are destined to go if we want to improve our life, because it's never going to change if we just stay back here. Okay. So stop shrinking, stop living inside other people's limitations, stop treating the pain of growth as the understanding that you must retreat away from the pain. No. The only way out is through. Self-respect begins to return to us the moment we prove to ourselves that we will not abandon ourselves any longer. That is my thesis. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Listen, I care about you. I want you to rebuild your life on your terms the way you want. So let's do it together. Okay? I'm also doing it. My name is Josh. Thank you for coming back to the Life Reset Collective. I'll see you amazing people on the next one.